want to start by asking about Jonathan. Got 2 innings out of him yesterday. Just what did you see as far as his pitches, and how did he feel? Afterwards, after the game was over.
Yeah, he felt great, and it was awesome to see him back out there and threw a three-pitch mix up to 95 miles an hour,
Hmm.
and that was what we had hoped. And regardless of what happened, we actually talked about it before the game. What happens if he goes out there and throws 6 pitches in the first and 7 pitches in the second?
Hmm.
It was going to be 2 innings no matter what, because it's the sit down, rest, and then get back up. It's the sit down and get back up that really is takes a toll on its pitchers sometimes. So we made the decision it was going to be 2 innings only. Next Sunday he will be back out there again. We're going to give him the start and probably let him go 3 to 4 and
Hmm.
lengthen him out a little bit. But overall, I thought he was great. It was a great shot in the arm to have that kind of arm back in, just like we saw Ryan Webb come in and see Michael Polk come in. These three guys with power arms that hadn't been pitching for us are now back. It's a good feeling.
And then you mentioned the shot in the arm, and the freshmen have done a great job for you this year. But if you're a teammate of these guys, you know you're gonna have the caliber of Ryan Webb, of Jonathan Cannon, taking their regular weekend turns. What does that do as far as just really getting everybody kind of ready to go?
Yeah, I think it raises the confidence level of the team. And again, the freshmen, like you said, have done a great job. They have all done what we've asked them to do. Colin Caldwell came in through one pitch last night
Yeah.
and got their best hitter out. And Willie Pearson's been outstanding. Liam Sullivan's great. Jaden Woods has been very good. Wagner's been good. All those guys have been really good. And then Charlie Goldstein, he's a redshirt freshman, but Charlie Goldstein's been outstanding. So all these young kids have come in and done their job, and been really happy with them.
And Ben and Corey breaking out of there. Something I know Ben has been a little more pronounced, although he's had a ton of balls. It seemed like it had just been right at him, or one of those type deals. And to see them kind of get back going, especially Ben, what does that do for you?
Yeah, Ben's the table setter. He's our leadoff guy. When your leadoff guy's not getting on base, it makes your offense lag a little bit. And it's not because he hadn't been swinging it well. I had talked to the TV people before our game yesterday and told them, look, this guy's hitting 103, and it's the best 103 hitter in the country. And it's there's some people that are struggling at 103. He's hitting the ball right on the screws almost every single time, and just had really bad luck. But I was happy. His second at bat, he got the little bloop, the ball that just went over the third baseman's head. He didn't hit it good, but I kind of laughed a little bit. I'm like, there it is. Just try to
Mm-hmm.
the baseball gods evening things up a little bit. So hopefully he gets going. He got 3 hits last night, and Corey, bounced back. He had a really tough weekend. He had a freshman weekend, and that's going to happen sometimes. But he's a great hitter. Everybody knows that, and he got 3 more hits last night. So good to see both those guys bounce back.
And just one last quick thing. I know the non-conference part of the schedule is always a time where you want to try and build extra depth, get extra, guys ready to fill in and whatnot. And you've been able to do that. I know we talked earlier about Josh McAllister and what he's done. Cameron coming in the last 3 games. Jernigan is still there because many other year might have been a starter. Is that it's a good problem to have so many guys, I guess, ready to able to contribute. That kind of create other issues for you, I guess, trying to get everybody playing time.
Yeah, no, it's we have this talk a lot with our team because we have so much depth. We have so many players, and when I try as a coach, when you try to make everybody happy, you end up making everybody upset. And what you
Hmm.
have to try to do is make sure everybody's on the same page. You communicate, this is where we are. This is what we're trying to do. Guys have certain roles, and you don't have to love your role, but you have to accept it eventually. And that's when you have one-on-one meetings with players. And we've had plenty of those. And guys want to play. They're competitive. But we've got the right group of kids here that all want to win and want to help this team win. So I think it's a good problem to have. I always tell them, I go, give me an issue making out the starting lineup. Give me some problems making out that starting lineup, because who do I put in here? And that's what we have. We've got a lot of guys. Parks Harbor is going to be coming back. He's going to play a little bit this weekend. So he had a little bit of a wrist issue. So that gives us some more depth. But yeah, I tell you what, Cam Guidry, last 3 days, I mean, you can't ask for anything more than what he has done. He has been unbelievable. And that just gives us more depth in the middle. And, Cole Tate played at about 90% last night. He didn't push anything. I kind of got on him a little bit. It looked like he was limping a little. He goes, no, coach, I'm good. I'm just not stretching it out. So I think you'll see him
Yeah.
open it up a little bit more this weekend. McAllister's going to be back and ready to go this weekend too. But Cam Guidry's put himself in that position where, he's going to get some playing time. And even if he's not starting, we can put him in defensively, come in and get a pinch hit. But he's got some big, every hit he's got has been a big hit for us. I've been really happy with him.
Thank you.
All right, Jed May.
Hey, Coach, I'm kind of following up on that depth question with regards to the pitching. How much deeper does it make the bullpen when you've got these guys like, Luke Wagner, Jaden Woods, Charlie Goldstein, who, to start the year, they're clamoring for those midweek starts. And now, you can use them out of the bullpen anytime you want. And how much, I guess, is that competition going to make all those guys better down in the bullpen and fighting for the midweek starts too?
Yeah, no question. It makes them better to be able to compete. If you know that it's your job, then, I don't think we've got those kids on our team, but it's just human nature. When you know the job's yours, sometimes you can put your feet up and relax a little bit. But when you've got guys to the right and left of you that can compete and take your innings, then you've got to compete a little bit more. And all these guys are competing with each other. They're cheering each other on, but they're competing with each other too. And, the midweek, we may end up, that might end up being bullpen days for us, just so we have everybody still available for the weekend. We haven't decided what we're going to do. Charlie Goldstein's been great. And so he's been kind of a hybrid. He's come out of the bullpen like he did last night, but being able to move guys like Wagner, guys like Jaden Woods, if they go into the bullpen, now all of a sudden you've got more stuff coming out of the bullpen with the other guys that, Liam Sullivan, Willie Pearson, Colin Caldwell, Ben Harris. I mean, all those guys at different looks, and it's tough on hitters that we may be able to really mix and match, kind of like we did last night, use 5 different guys, and I think everybody was effective.
Palmer?
Yeah, Coach, you gave us a pretty thorough injury update there, but wanted to check in on Buddy Floyd. What's the latest with him in his return?
Yeah, Buddy's day to day, and it's a forearm injury, and it's from that collision on Friday night against North Florida. I mean, it was pretty. I originally thought, oh no, he broke his arm. And just a really kind of violent collision where he had to reach back for the baseball as the runner was arriving, and it just, a hard baseball play. He full go defensively. We'll see if he takes batting practice. I've got him in a batting practice group. He's going to see the trainer before we practice. I expect to see him swing some today, and he's kind of day-to-day close.
And then I know Lipscomb was battling COVID issues this past week. Have you heard any update on them on whether they'll be here for sure?
Well, until they get on the bus and come this way, start heading downhill, nothing's for sure. But Jeff Forehand and I are good friends. We spoke this morning, and as of right now, we're all good to go. So they are planning to, they got tested again today. They'll get their test results tomorrow morning. And then if everything's clear, they jump on the bus, and then they'll practice here at Foley Field tomorrow evening. And that'll be their first practice in over a week. So, and that's going to be a dangerous team. Those guys have been pent up. They'll be ready to play. They'll be excited. So, we're going to get their best shot this weekend. But as of right now, this moment, yes, we are playing, and Lipscomb's coming.
And one last question, if you don't mind. I guess with situations like that and how quickly those things can change, do y'all have teams in mind that you've got, essentially on speed dial, where you would say, hey, if our weekend opponent can't go, if our midweek opponent can't go, we're going to give these guys a call?
Well, there's been a group email that's been kind of sent around. There's 313 head coaches on it now, and everyone's just kind of copy and pasted that. When you get a game or a weekend canceled, it just gets shot out. So unfortunately, I'm getting, 2 or 3 of those emails per week of just, Cal State Bakersfield. It's not like we're going to play Cal State Bakersfield, but that's a team that had an issue at some point. Whether it was their opponent or them, I don't know. I think it was maybe an opponent, but we're all on this email chain. So when you have an open weekend, it just goes out and say, hey, if anybody needs an opponent, we're looking for somebody. And I think for the most part, people have had a lot of success of finding opponents now that we're in the non-league. Once we get into the league, it's going to be a challenge. You're going to have, 2 separate teams or 2 separate series canceled. And then you maybe can match up the other teams. But, man, the travel and the logistics can be really, really difficult. So I hope we can get through this thing clean.
Catherine Lewis?
Hey, Coach. I just had a couple questions about the Lipscomb series as well. So do you know, or have you been given any kind of date that you'll know if this weekend series is going to be played, or is it just going to be we're playing until until we hear otherwise.
Yeah, we're playing until we hear otherwise. And I've spoken with their head coach every single day this week and just checking in. Hey, make sure you guys are good. And we talked this morning at length, and they are fully planning to be heading here tomorrow to get ready to play Friday night. So unless something happens with either their tests or our tests, we just got tested this morning, so we get our test results tomorrow morning. And I think all of us, we're all holding our breath when that happens, because we all know, kids these age, they can have it and have no symptoms. And that's the scary thing about this thing. So we're just kind of holding our breath. And when we get the all clear and they get the all clear, then we know we'll play.
And on the off chance that you are unable to play this weekend against Lipscomb, what is your plan for the weekend?
Well, I would jump on that email chain really quick. We would know tomorrow morning. We'll know tomorrow morning probably by about 8 a.m. if 100% we're good. Both teams are cleared. And if something, for whatever reason, if Lipscomb, says we can't play, then I'll send out the email. Hey, we're open. Anyone? And we'll try to do something last second. And I hope we don't have to do that. And who knows, then maybe you jump back and do a Saturday, Sunday to give someone an extra day. Let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope we don't have to do that. But that's just one of those things that we'll deal with it if it shows up. But right now we're planning on to play Lipscomb.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. One last question from Drew Hubbard.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to talk to you about recruiting. A lot of your team is coming from the state of Georgia. So in your experience coaching at Kent State and Georgia, where does the state of Georgia kind of rank as far as high school baseball goes?
That's as good as it comes. I mean, California, Texas, Florida, Georgia. I mean, those are your four that have the most baseball players that come out. When you look at Major League Baseball, that's where a lot of players are coming from. Georgia is very deep, and it's, north, south, east, west. It doesn't matter. Obviously, Metro Atlanta gets a lot of publicity, but there's a lot of great players in South Georgia. There's a lot of, look at the players that we've gotten just from the Ringgold area with Cheney Rogers and Tucker Bradley and Cole Wilcox, and just the kind of players that are in this state. Yeah, it's certainly top 5 in the country. And but year in and year out, Georgia produces a ton of talent.
All right. Thank you, Coach.